A new Hollywood film about the JFK assassination is in development, and Academy Award winner Jessica Chastain is reportedly set to portray journalist Dorothy Kilgallen. And this project is called Assassination. At least that's the working title. And it's planned for production in Boston once filming officially begins. It's still listed as pre-production online. And you know, Dorothy Kilgallen's fearless reporting and her mysterious 1965 death have fascinated people for decades. I'm Frank Gerard. I've told a lot of stories here behind this microphone, but for me, few have been as fascinating as Dorothy Kilgallen's. Few have explored her story, by the way, more deeply than my guest today, author Sara Jordan-Heintz. Sara wrote the incredible book called The Incredible Life and Mysterious Death of Dorothy Kilgallen, which I actually had the honor of narrating for the audiobook. And Sara joins me today to talk about what Hollywood might get right and what they might miss. Sara, welcome.
Thank you.
And Sara, first question I want to ask you is, and this may be one of the first times you're hearing about this, but what is your reaction, or what was your reaction when you heard that Jessica Chastain would likely play Dorothy Kilgallen?
Well, I think she's an incredible actress. And honestly, I have felt like what took Hollywood so long to even get an interest in Dorothy Kilgallen. So I think that was really my first thought, even before who would play her, who would be cast, is, Lee Israel's book came out in the late 70s. My Midwest Today article came out in '07. This is a story that is screaming to be told. And so I think I had some optimism that maybe it would finally reach that broader audience in the form of a film.
Yeah. And I've heard that this movie is not a straight biopic. You know, it's from what's been reported. Let me ask you, how central do you think Dorothy will be to the story?
Well, and I think even what has been reported in the press sounds like the script has gone through different changes of focus, different castings, people coming in and out. So I don't know how much it's really going to be a biopic than Dorothy being kind of involved in a larger aspect of the assassination, organized crime. It seems to be very open-ended from anything that I've been made privy to.
Okay. Now I've got to ask you this because we've got people watching from all over the world who, love to read and love all the information about Dorothy. And my question to you, and maybe the filmmakers are watching this, we never know. If the filmmakers asked you for your advice, Sara, what one detail would you fight to get right about Dorothy's character?
Wow. Well, you have to read her columns. You
Yeah.
have to portray Dorothy. She was very erudite, she was very articulate, very smart. To get to know Dorothy, you have to read her writing. And then I would say secondary, understanding the last year and a half of her life and how Ron Pataki was involved.
Yeah, yeah. And on that subject, what is the biggest myth or cliche about Dorothy that Hollywood might be likely to repeat that you're afraid of?
Yeah. Well, I don't want her to be portrayed as merely a contestant on What's My Line.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people kind of of a certain age remember her from the television game show and how very competitive she was on that. And maybe um, because of that, not giving enough credit to her work as an investigative journalist and her reach with the Hearst Syndicate. I think that would be a major thing to get wrong.
sure, sure. And is there one real life moment that you could think of or that you wrote about in your book? I know there are many that you would insist they include, like something that shows Dorothy's courage and how high the stakes really were for the dangerous job she was doing?
Well, I think that her conversations with Jack Ruby could be dramatized as showing their interactions, her at the trial, of course. And I think when she got excerpts of Ruby's transcript before the Warren Commission in the newspaper and how that really launched a federal investigation. And, there were some legalities to this leak in the Journal American. And I think that would be a very bold statement to put that in a film to show that she really didn't care who she potentially made the enemies list of.
Yeah, and it's always so bizarre and makes you wonder why Dorothy's JFK assassination files or Jack Ruby files have never been found, right?
I think that's really the big mystery beyond Dorothy's exact death scene and the exact circumstances is where did her research go?
Yeah,
I tend to think it was destroyed, and who would benefit from that or was forced to cooperate, if you will.
yeah.
And I think that's made it very easy for Dorothy to be sort of erased since her death, November 8th of 1965.
Yeah. Well, Sarah, your book explores the sides of Dorothy's life that the movie may never touch, her journalism, her sources, and the unanswered questions surrounding her death. For those who want the facts, not the fiction, check out Sarah's book, The Incredible Life and Mysterious Death of Dorothy Kilgallen. It's available in paperback, ebook, Kindle, ebook, an audiobook, hardcover, Sarah, or not?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Hopefully
Uh,
someday.
Got it. And this is a big book, folks. There's so much in here. So if you thought you knew about Dorothy Kilgallen because you either read something else or watched something else, I promise you, so did I before I read Sarah's book, and I realized I didn't know a thing. You will after you read this, and it's available on Amazon and Audible. Sara Jordan-Heintz, thank you for joining me.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Take care.